Hey buddies, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new, my name is Mo. I'm 28, working on my financial freedom journey. In this video, we are going to be talking about the wedding, darling. So if you don't know, recently I had a wedding. My husband and I got married last year, but we eloped because that was a goal of mine. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to explain everything throughout the video. But recently, yes, we had a wedding and the wedding cost money, okay? So we're gonna go over the expenses and as well as how much we made, were gifted, whatever the case, we're gonna discuss. Okay, so also before we get into it, I do wanna say a couple of things. Okay, so number one is that your girl is trying to post 3 times a week now. So that's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, okay? And if I don't post one of those days, I'll make a post about not posting or later or whatever the case may be, right? What else? Okay, and 2, people ask like, oh, we want to see pictures. You guys know I don't share too much, so I'm gonna show you some like pictures of the decorations as I go through and explain some things. But that's all I got for y'all. Don't hate me. All right, so your girl is drinking some coffee because, you know, why not? It's all perspiring and whatever because I love it to just be toasty. Let's just take a sip. So instead of doing like notebook paper, I just printed off line paper. Is that bougie? Maybe. But I just love cardstock, y'all. I just can't get enough. So my favorite Precise V5 black pen is going out of ink. Are you crying? Because I am. Inside. I'm crying inside. So there's that. I feel some type of way. But anyways, okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go over the wedding expenses, but let me give you like a little rundown, okay? Hold on. So let's go over the numbers. I think the numbers are important, y'all. I think the numbers are important. So, okay, I wanted a small wedding, right? I have a big family on both sides. Well, really on one side, but I'm not very close to a lot of family members. Personally, I don't think they like me. And maybe they do, but I just feel like talking about people behind their back, I don't know, it just gives me signs of not liking from 9 to 99. I don't care the age. I just feel like I take that as not liking, whatever. Y'all, I am in therapy, so don't come for me. So I didn't want a big wedding. However, my husband's mom had passed before I met him. So family meant something different to him, and he preferred a bigger wedding. So to meet in the middle, we eloped last year, and then we also have this wedding, okay? So that was our compromise for the both parties' needs and wants, okay? Also, I will say, after this whole situation with this wedding, my husband's like, maybe we shouldn't have done it so big. But we'll get into that, y'all. We're gonna get into that. Okay, let's do the numbers in black, whatever's left in this, okay? So the numbers are as follows. There was 160 people invited, a lot. And that's a nice number, but that's just what we had documented on the little website. Y'all, the sun is sunning, okay? So 160 people invited. So now we have 121 who RSVP'd that they were in fact coming to the wedding, okay? Now we had 101 people show up. So that means just 20 who didn't show up. However, 2 of these people who showed up weren't coming, or so they said, okay? I think I spelled that wrong. But do you guys pick up what I'm putting down? So this is where we are. We had 160 people that we invited, 121 people who RSVP'd, 101 that showed up, and 2 of them said they were not coming. So meaning they RSVP'd and said no. Actually, one person RSVP'd and said no. The other person was not invited. It was a family member that I had no idea about. Like, I didn't know this person. He was brought by somebody else, which, I mean, whatever. The only thing about it is that it was seated, meaning there was people's names down. So that was the only thing I felt bad about because I'm like, I didn't even know you, sir. I wish. And he's an older gentleman. But again, these are the numbers. 160 invited, 121 RSVP'd, 101 showed up, and then 2 said they weren't coming out of that, but they came. Does that make sense? Like, 2 of those 101 that showed up. All right. So now we're going to get into the expenses. Wedding expenses. Now, I do also want to preface with these these expenses are coming from my husband and I's wallet. There are 2 other people who are involved in this wedding that helped us, that paid a lot of money, and I don't have their exact numbers, but we'll chit chat about it. So let's start, and everything we address on the expenses, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little chit chat about. So let's start with, okay, number 1. With this wedding, we didn't have any vendors, okay? We try to do everything local, everything small, DIY, all the things. So I knew a guy. I knew a guy that we were raised around in the church, blah, blah, blah. So we had him to be our DJ. We were thinking, oh, it'd be cheaper. I think we had him for 4 hours. We were thinking, oh, it'd be cheaper. Man, my mom swore he was a great DJ. So he charged us $600, y'all. And I'm like, this is not even that cheap. But my mom's like, oh, it's an investment. You know, she's one of those people where she's like, oh, you should spend, because if you don't spend, you're gonna die. And then where your money goes, whatever. DJ, he charged us $600. I gave him a $75 tip. So total, he got $675. Was it worth it? Honest to God, not really. He wasn't DJing. He basically just played the whole song and went to the next song. We could have did that ourselves, but it is what it is. All right, so the next thing is my dress. I got my dress from David's Bridal, but I bought it online and it was on sale and it was the last one. So that was $220 for my dress. I then went to go get it altered, which cost me $110, okay? So my dress came out to a total of $330. Let's just put the numbers in here right here. So $675 plus $330. Already at $1,000. Okay, so then I also had a reception outfit. Is it extra? For sure. But I bought me like a white suit from Express and it was on sale. So that and a top, that ended up costing me $173.77. Actually, it's kind of a lie because I got 4 things from Express. It was the top and the bottom to the suit, like the blazer and the pants. No, I got 3 things. And then I got a dress for my bridal shower. That's what it's called. So that's what cost me $173.77. And I thought that was a pretty good price, me personally, darling. So plus $173.77. Okay, so we're at $1,178.77. Y'all with me? Okay, so now my husband, he has a suit. Don't ask me where he got it from, but he spent $250. Now this amount, we rounded up. If you see a straight amount, like with a 0 behind it, we probably rounded up. Like this was exactly what we gave him, but it was $250, and that was for his jacket, his pants, his shirt, and for it to be tailored. Okay, so I think we did pretty good on the outfits. We didn't, I don't know, go too crazy. Now again, everything that we have at this wedding, we're doing ourselves. And cough cough, shout out to my mother. Now we got to get into my mom rant. Okay, Mama Mo, she did her big one. She had the vision. She put the centerpieces together. She bought a lot of the decorations. You're gonna see some expenses in here that should have hopefully account for some of her endeavors. But yes, my mom did her big one. But the only thing we spent our money on for decorations, it was about $400, and that was flowers and decorations from like Hobby Lobby and Michael's. So we're gonna plus 400. Now we're at $1,578.77. Okay, y'all with me? I hope. So this is another rounding here. Invitations. Y'all know me. I'm paper by Mo. Okay, I'm Mo. I can create my own paper. Here's the thing. I had to like my own invitations, save the dates, and that's exactly what I did. I would love to show y'all, but it has too much information on it. So I had to buy the paper. It was a specific type of paper. I had to buy the envelopes and then stamps, all the stamps. Remember, we sent out about 160, okay? And I think the stamps are like 60 something cents each, whatever. So when we put all that together, we round up to about $150 spent. And that's on, again, save the dates and the actual invitations because we sent them out both. Looking back, I wish I would have did emails, but we did have a lot of people who were older in our families who don't do too much in technology. So, which is why we didn't do it like that, my husband's request. So there we are. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna discuss is the venue. So the venue cost us $2,200. Now, the venue was owned by a county. And what we found out is if you get a building that's owned by the county, like some states and cities allow you to rent out their libraries, they have parks, all these things. It's cheaper. So you're like, $2,200 is not cheap. And it wasn't. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we had the venue for 3 days. Friday, we set up. Saturday was the wedding, and then Sunday we broke down. That's exactly how we did it. And shout out to our family members and friends who actually came and helped us set up, because when I say this was by hand power, manpower, whoo. So we had $2,200. Now, $600 of this $2,200 is the deposit. Now, if we set up or break down everything correctly, we would get that back. So we only got, we got $550 back. Okay. They took off $50 because they didn't like the way we stacked the chairs. Listen, they be looking for money to not give you back, but here we are. So 2,200 minus 5,000, I'm sorry, 2,200 minus 550 is 1,650. So that's actually how much we paid for the venue. So we're gonna, oh God, did I add them? Whatever, let's just add it back up. 675 plus 330 plus 173.77 plus 250, okay, plus 400 plus 150, and then plus $1,650. Okay, so we're at $3,328.77. Okay, so after the venue, we're gonna go to shoes, and this is again for my husband and myself. We rounded up. It probably was closer to 75, because my shoes only cost $40. I got my shoes from DSW. I don't know what that stands for. Something shoe warehouse, decorative, whatever, designer. I don't know. So I got it from DSW. It was like $40, and if you just signed up for a DSW account, they gave you like a little. It was probably $50, and they gave you like $10 off. So that's how I got mine, and then my husband spent about $50 on his. So there's that for $100. Bam. Now, after that, we have rehearsal. D for dinner. So on Friday, after we set up, we also rehearsed. And so for everybody who helped us set up, as well as people in the wedding, and we only had like 4 people in the wedding outside of ourselves. He had 2 groomsmen, I had 2 bridesmaids, or maid of honor, bridesmaid, and man of honor? No, hold on. Best man and groomsman. Okay, so to get the food, I had to put a deposit down of half, and it was promised to us that somebody else, like a family member, was gonna pay for it, and that family member didn't show, because it couldn't be a wedding if it didn't have a little drama, a little razzle dazzle. So there's that. It's all good. So I put down 116.08. And my father, when he went to go pick up the food, he put down the other 116.08 because that was half. Again, we are feeding about 15 people right now, okay, with the rehearsal dinner, because people are there to help us set up, and then the people in the wedding, and then you have like my dad because he's walking me down the aisle, then you have my niece because she's a flower girl, all the things, right? Rehearsal dinner. Okay, after that, we're gonna go ahead. Let me add the 116.08 plus 116.08. Okay, $3,544.85. Okay, then after that, we're gonna put down nails. These janky nails you see me on now is what I had over a month ago. And when you see the price, you understand why I have not taken these things off. So $216.05. Is it 05? Yeah. Okay, plus 216.05. So here's the thing. They're like, girl, this for that. No. So yes, these nails cost a lot, but this included my fingernails, my toenails, and somebody went with me to the nail shop, and I paid for that woman to have her nails done as well. So that's where the 216.05 came from. Okay, now we're gonna get into shuttle. That's the H. So our venue was near a hotel. We had quite a bit of family members that came from like out of state, Chicago, Florida. I mean, you listen, okay? So we had a hotel, and the hotel, like I said, was near the venue, but not like close where you could walk. So we decided to get a shuttle coming from the hotel to the venue, and that cost us $550. It was like a 15-passenger shuttle or van, and it went back and forth as many times as needed to get people from point A to point B and from point B to point A if they chose to drink alcohol. Okay, so that's $550. Now, speaking of hotel, we had a hotel stay, my husband and I. So, these numbers, I did not like these numbers, but it is what it is. So, we ended up paying $557, $557.88. Okay, so with the hotel, we had 2 rooms. My husband had a room, I had a room, Friday night. We also had 2 rooms Saturday night. And you're like, why? You're already married. Mind you, a lot of people don't, I'm going to say 98%. I'll say 99%. People at this wedding did not know we were eloped. Like, we are already married. They didn't know this. But anyways, so Friday, I had my hotel room. He had his hotel room. And we, had our prospective parties, bachelor parties, whatever. Bachelor, bachelorette, whatever. I had one of the bridesmaids sleep in the room with me. She, maybe whatever, for whatever reason. So on Saturday, and I had 2 bedrooms in my room. So on Saturday, I kept that other room open for her. And I went to our room, or my husband's room, which is why it was so much money, because it was about $140, $130, $150 a night or something like that. So yeah, that was that $557.88. Okay. Now we're getting into the cake. Another thing somebody told us they would pay for. It's okay. It's life. So we had a cake from Publix, $294. We had a red velvet cake from Publix that people would be handed. However, we also had a separate cake that we were cutting into. We had our own cake. That little cake, y'all, it was just the teeniest little thing you ever done seen. I mean, it was cute, but it was tiny. That little cake cost us about $400, okay? And mind you, one layer was real and one layer wasn't. I'm like, this is what we're doing out here? Gosh. Okay, so that was $600.94. Now, that was the cake. Now, for the venue, if you haven't had an event or something, because I did not know this, I don't have events. The girl don't do nothing, not for real. So the venue, we had to have insurance, and that cost us $155. I don't think I added the $600, but I'm just gonna keep moving because I'm kind of a little lost. I think it's just the cake that I didn't add, but we're gonna move on. So the insurance was $155. Then my mom covered a lot of this, but we did buy a couple of things, and this was for the gift bags, okay? So the gift bags ended up costing us about $142.97. They got a lot of stuff with our names on it, embroidered, all the things, right? So my mom said that's a nice thing to do, so it's the nice thing we do. All right, here's another thing. Here's my thing, because I know that it's gonna be drama and people have opinions about it, and it's crazy. But I feel like if somebody asks you to be in their wedding and you don't have the money, it's okay to say no. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. At least not to me, and at least not to my husband. Take a sip, y'all. So, when it comes to the wedding, and my husband's like, hey guys, it's 2 guys, and one of them is his brother. Y'all need to get your suits. And he's been saying that since last year, and every time they're like, 2 weeks, we gotta get our money right. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. They don't do it. So then I guess my husband takes it upon himself, gets their measurements, gets their sizes, and he orders the stuff for them. And they're like, yeah, that works best. We're gonna give you your money back. Here's my thing. Oh, excuse me. Here's my thing. If you're gonna give something to somebody, just don't expect it back, even if they say so. And I think money and gifting, and whether it's gifting and he doesn't see it as a gift, he sees it as a loan, but he's never gonna get it back. Okay, he bought these suits for these guys in March. We are in May. It's after the wedding. You're never gonna see it back. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that to be like, let's be realistic here. So we bought them their pants, their jacket, their socks, their tie, the little thing that go in the pocket thingy, the little fold up thing. Okay, so between all 5 things times 2, that cost us $550. Okay, We're never gonna see it back, and that's okay. These are his people. This is his relationship with people. I think my husband's feelings is a little hurt, but I think like he's also coming to a new realization that maybe people, you know, don't do him as he do them. And I say that to say, you're like, oh, all they did was didn't pay for a suit or whatever. And it's not like these are suits that were like crazy colors. These are tan suits. They could wear it again. But I think the thing is, like, these are people that would ask him for money, that would rely on him. So I feel like he's going through a shift because this is, you know, when you have a support system and you support people, you expect them to support you back. But sometimes expectations, you know, kill relationships, especially if they don't know your expectation. But they know the expectation of paying back because they said they would. So, you know, life is lifing. I don't know. I empathize with him, but I go to therapy for my family problems and just for my community problems and struggles or whatever, even with myself and other people. So I 10 out of 10 recommend he goes, not just our couples therapy, but like by himself. So, you know, like be lifing. So that's $550. Okay, so we're in town, right? We're in town from where we're from, and this is on me. My husband's family is not like this, but we're in town where we're from, and I'm like, oh my God, girl, Mo, you're in town. Let's go somewhere. And you're like, oh my God, so you went out and spent money with friends. No, these are family members. These are elders who are like, let's go eat. Let's go here. Let's go there. So we chalked that up to wedding expenses because I probably wouldn't have been in town and I wouldn't have spent this money. And it's like, we know you got it, you know, comments like that. So what do you do? What do you say? And sometimes when you have older people, it's always on the line of being disrespectful. If you say anything back, it's like, oh, that's disrespectful. You said no, that's just. So you just do what you gotta do, y'all. I don't know. Okay. Also, we created thank yous because, like I said, when it came to setting up, there were a lot of people who, shout out to them, they were there, they helped us. So we had thank you cards and we got gift cards for people. So that cost us about $200. Okay, y'all with me? Now, so this, I'm gonna put cash. So we gave the officiant cash. He is a family friend, aspiring pastor. He did an amazing job. We gave him cash, we gave him $100. My little sister and a cousin, they were kind of like door helpers, passing out papers and all that stuff. So we gave them each $100. So that's $200 for them, and then $100 for the officiant. So that's $300. Okay. And then we also have our photographer. Now let me tell you, when it came to these weddings, these people were charging like $10,000-$15,000 to take pictures. We found somebody that was more affordable, and he and the lady, the two of them, they did a very good job. You get what you pay for, but they did a good job. So just keep that in mind. It's not like, you know, the Pinterest pictures, but it was nice. So we paid them $2,000, and it wasn't like we bargained. This was their price, okay? This was their price. Okay, now the last thing for expenses, because this video is gonna be long, that I want to get to is what we gave my mom. Again, okay, when it comes to decorations, my mom created the decorations, all of that, right? But not only did she create them, she purchased this stuff. These are not rented. When I say it costs so much money to rent, I'm talking about the tablecloths, the chair cloths or the chair bags, the tie bags on the chair, the runners on the table, the napkins, the plates, the forks, the spoons, the knives, the cups. Everything was purchased. You're like, dang, that sounds like a lot. But think about this. They're charging you $2, $3, $4 per item when you rent them, as opposed to a lot of that stuff. My mom and I went to Dollar Tree. Okay? Went to Dollar Tree because it's $1.25 per one, as opposed to $2, $3, $4 per one. So my mom purchased a lot of that stuff. She wants to be, I don't know, an event planner or something like that in the future, not right now. So I feel like it goes on track, it goes on brand, but a lot of money on my mom's behalf was spent. Not only my mom, but also my dad. My dad paid for all of the food and all of the drinks. The bar was an open bar. It was so, I mean, people were guzzling alcohol so bad, y'all, that they had to go out and get more alcohol during the wedding. But that's okay. So shout out to my mom, shout out to my dad. My dad would never share money and say exactly how much stuff was. He's not that type of person. He wants people to think that he just has the world. That's that. My mom, she's like, girl, I'm broke, okay? I'm making in the 50-something thousands. I don't, but she's also enjoys throwing parties and stuff. So what we had left in our his and hers is what we gave my mom, and I'm gonna put that here. So to mom, the amount here was, I'm looking for it. Okay, we gave her $1,850. So that was the total amount we gave my mom because, she deserved it. She spent a lot of money. Honestly, she spent way more than that. So let's just go ahead and tally this up and see how much these wedding expenses were. So we got $675 plus $330 plus 173 dot 77 plus 250 plus 400 plus 150 plus $1,650 plus 100 in shoes plus 116.08 plus 216.05 plus plus 550 for the shuttle, plus 557.88 for the hotel, plus 600.94 for the cake, plus 155 for the insurance of the venue, plus 142.97 for the gift bag, plus $550 for the groomsmen, plus 182.40 for in-town spending, plus $200 for thank you cards, plus $300 for what we gave the officiant and the helpers. That's cash, and then plus $2,000 for the photographer, and then plus $1,850. So we have $11,150.09. So we're gonna put that over here. Okay, 11,150.09. Wow, a lot of money, and it was over the course of 2023 and 2024 for sure. But again, my dad paid for the food, and when I say we had no vendors, like with the food, we had family members do the food, but it wasn't like, oh, we're doing it for free. No, it was like we paid for my dad paid for the ingredients and also gave family members money for them to to them to make something. For example, my husband's aunt make the appetizers or hors d'oeuvres. It was two of them. It was meatballs and it was egg rolls. She charged, I think, $450. That was for her service and the food. She got the food from like Sam's Club or BJ's. Like, the packs were maybe $80, if that, because we cut them in half. Like, it was affordable and people got paid their service. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now, I don't know if they got paid too much, but that's not my business. So this is the wedding expenses. Let's talk about what we actually brought in from the wedding. Okay, let me go to my notes. Okay, so you already know we only had 101 people invited. I'm sorry, not invited, that showed up, which again, y'all know me. I'm not mad about that because I didn't even really want a big wedding. So, that 101 showing up was fine by me. I think what irked me is, I guess this is where the drama lies for me. What irked me is the people that did not come, okay? The people that did not come kind of irked me. I understand that life happens, right? And you don't owe me anything. However, not only did people go online and RSVP once, I also text people 2 times. So you confirmed within 3 times that you will be coming to this wedding. My issue with that lies that everything, again, we own. My mom owns the plates, the knives, the forks, whatever. And these are family members who did not come. Not even really friends, okay? There was a friend or two, but that's another story. So I think with people just not showing up and not saying something, like we've had quite a few people who just didn't say anything. To this day has not said anything to us about the fact that we got married, had a wedding, you were invited and didn't show. And we know they exist. We've talked to other family members, seen on social media. They exist, okay? They're not dead. Nothing has happened, because that is me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, did something happen to that person? Are they okay? Yeah, they're fine. They just don't like you. I don't know. I just find that very disrespectful. So that's my issue when it comes to some of the people who didn't show up. Now, my other issue is the people who told us the day of. Yes, I'm talking about on the Saturday that we got married. I got text messages in the morning. Yeah, I won't be able to make it. Here's the thing. These people lived in different states. You knew you didn't buy a plane ticket. You knew you wasn't coming. But it's okay. Because I think, for me personally, I've had feelings about certain family members, certain friends, and it's just like when I would look for validation from certain people, like my parents, they're like, oh, you're so mean, Mo. Be a little nicer. No, give them grace. And it's crazy because I watched a sermon this past Sunday, my husband and I, and it was basically talking about sometimes people are having bad days, having a bad season, and sometimes people are just toxic or people just don't like you, and that's okay. But don't let nobody convince you that they do. And I think spending money on this wedding and seeing certain people not show up or, you know, respond the way they did, it just proved that point. So with all that being said, there was 101 people that didn't show up. 101, I don't know why I keep tongue-tying. 101 people that showed up. So we had about 21 people that just did not, or 22, because remember, 2 of these people, one was not invited and one said they were not coming, but they showed up anyway. That's fine. So we're gonna go when it comes to, I guess, the gifts. Okay. Now, we didn't really have a registry. We said, hey, we're trying to buy a house, we're trying to travel, you know, these are things that we want to do. We would just appreciate any type of donation. Okay, so we had like an online thing where you could give money. My husband had his Cash App, as well as we had like a card box so people could put their cards in, whatever the case may be. So this number I'm gonna put is just the total here, okay, y'all? 39. 39 is the number of people who gave us gifts. Now, this number, I want to make sure I'm specific. This number is a gift, meaning like even if it's just a card with nothing in it, because y'all, I feel like I am emotional, but I'm only emotional with certain people, my husband and my mom and my therapist. Let me put her in there because we be emotional with the therapist now. But the cards, even ones that had no money, because it wasn't about the money, it was just about like, wow, like I was just so much more emotional than I thought I would. I don't really hang around a lot of family, and we got some cards that just blessed us, you know, with their words, with their validation, with their prayers, stuff like that. Enjoyed it, loved it. Okay, so this 39, it means like we got certain gifts. It could have been anything. It could have been a card. We got 2 bottles of like wine. Ooh, one friend, that's been my husband's friend, he got our like Mr. and Mrs. and our last name on a bottle and on a box. It was beautiful. It was so kind of him. Anyways, so this includes money. This includes cards. This includes drinks, whatever the case may be. And then my dad, I didn't add my dad on here, so really it should be 40. My dad did give us a Ninja blender. That's the best gift of them all, y'all. And we didn't ask for anything specifically, but he just had one that he had in his storage and he hadn't opened. That was great. So 39 gifts is what we got. Remember, 101 people came to the wedding. So I don't know. I do feel some type of way. I know people say, oh, it's about being in attendance, but here's the thing, half you people don't like me. I don't think so. So you guys came empty-handed and you had an empty stomach and you got fed and you drank endlessly at an open bar, and just a card, a dollar card from the Dollar Tree. I hate to sound entitled, but a card is just something that is just like, ooh, you know, I don't know. Anyways, so 39 total. Let's talk money. Okay. So we had one big gifter, okay? I'm talking about the amount of money this person gave was enormous. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about other people. So the amount we got from the other people was $5,562. It's a big amount. I was very grateful for it, not gonna lie. And this came from this number. Let me see, hold on. Okay, so this number here came from 30 people, okay? So I had some family members that was out of state who decided to not come to the wedding, which is perfectly fine, and they sent in some money, so this is very kind of them. This came from 30 people total. So this money came from, again, people who, quite a few, maybe like 5 people who did not come to the wedding. They were out of state. Okay, cool. And they sent, some money. And this is acquired within like a couple $100s from each person. And then a lot of this money, you guys, were from the family members and aunts and uncles that actually helped us, which we expected nothing from because we were just grateful for the help, right? Now, there was one person. My grandmother, I love my grandmother to death. She acted a fool at the wedding. I'm not gonna lie, there's always one. I don't know if she was intoxicated. I know the lady likes attention. Listen, I'm going to therapy. But what my husband doesn't understand is she does this all the time. And her apology usually comes in the form of money. And it's just like, be silent about it. Let's not talk about it. So anyways, this person gave us $10,000, y'all. Yep, and this came from one person. So I'm grateful. I'm definitely in therapy because it's one of those situations. Even the therapist said something I did not like, and I told my husband I didn't like this. But the therapist was like, ooh, if that's how somebody apologizes to me, they could do whatever they want. See, this is what I don't like. This is what our therapist, my husband and our therapist said. I didn't like that because I'm like, this is traumatic. This lady acts a fool, okay? Sometimes, I'm just being honest, sometimes she says stuff that's just crazy, and I know that's my grandmother, but I have to just call it how I see it. So we came out decent, great. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. This amount of money, we went ahead and put it in our high yield savings account towards a house, right? We're putting this towards a house. And then this is what's going towards our honeymoon. But to be honest with you, y'all know me. I'm not spending all of this on a honeymoon. I think we're gonna go ahead and take a cruise for maybe like $2,000, and then we're gonna save. Y'all know how we get down. But my husband and I both agreed that we're not gonna put any of this towards our student loan debt. None of this. Why? Because we already put about $3,500 a month towards our student loan debt of our income. So this would be going towards honeymoon and save. Moon and save. Okay? Honeymoon and save. Very much so giving simple. The event was overall good. There was drama. I don't know. I think, like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I don't know. It's not about the money for me. It's just about that people didn't even give us a car. You showed up empty-handed. And I'm talking about, like, ate so much. I'm not even just saying they ate so much food, y'all. I'm talking about people took home to go plates of food. They took home to go plates, okay? They had alcohol galore, and that's okay. But I just feel like when you have a community and you have a support system, and this is what I tell my husband, I support you and I make sure I'm an integral part in your community. I expect that same thing. And again, expectations, y'all. So with said expectations and people coming up empty-handed, and I'm talking about, like, again, just a card. I know people are gonna be like, oh my God, you want so much, maybe you shouldn't have had a wedding if you couldn't afford it. Obviously we can afford a wedding. Obviously we can. It's just that it just is weird to me. It makes you raise your eyebrow a little bit. Like, I'm talking, we had cousins who had a baby shower prior, right? We couldn't go because it was out of state. We make sure we buy something on the registry. That's what people do. That's okay. You show up empty-handed. That's weird. It's not about the money. What about a card? But we should be grateful for presents, I guess. People's presents cost a lot of money, okay? Plates and knives and forks, and I don't know. It just makes me look at some people a little different. We also had a cousin who has had several housewarming parties, and we never show up empty-handed. But for them to show up, that is my motto. We do not show up empty-handed. I don't know. Me and my best friend, we had the conversation of like, oh, does millennials like gift too much? And I don't know. I feel like if I'm coming to something that's an integral part of your life, or you're having a baby, you're getting married, you're having a party, a get-together gathering, I just don't show up empty-handed. I just don't show up. There has been times where I've just given people a card. When the money is slacking, I for sure just give you a card. But because I thank you, and I thank you for inviting me, and I thank you for having me a part of your support system, like all of the things, right? I don't know. My feelings is a little hurt. I definitely think after this wedding, my relationship with some people are changing. Most of the people who gave is my husband's family. Yes, my grandma gave a whole bunch of money. Remember, she acted a fool, but we don't got to get into that because I'll start crying. I won't, but I'm going to therapy, y'all. But nonetheless, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of my relationships are going to change after this. I also feel like this validated me because, again, my parents are like, don't be mean, Mo. No, give people grace. And I just feel like I already had a feeling. Some of these people were only invited because my parents said to invite them. It was the nice thing to do. So, yeah, I'm not mad about this event at all. I had fun. I had a good time. There were things I peeped as the night went on, but that's okay. We spent $11,150.09. Again, my mom probably spent a few grand herself, maybe more. So we did what we could to give her some money. My dad don't want to talk numbers, so we didn't give him anything because he doesn't want to talk numbers. And I don't know. That's my daddy. I don't know. Maybe we're different. But I'm like, that's my dad. He's going to pay. But my mom, she's just a girl, okay? She's just a girl. But yeah, so we came in pretty good. We got $15,562. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm so grateful. I prayed to God about this wedding before the wedding. I prayed to God while we were at the wedding, and I thank God after the wedding for the wedding. I thank God for those people in my family that support. Like, yeah, it showed me some negative stuff, but it also showed me like, wow, the positive stuff too. The friends that really ride for you, even when you don't live in the same state as them. The friends that pull up and show up. The family members that pull up and show up for you. Like, it was just eye-opening, and I just feel like as I'm moving into my 30s, I just hope to hone in more on my support system, not just mine, but my husband's. And his feelings are hurt. They are. But he has to deal with it. He has to go to therapy. He has to work through it, deal through it. And so, yeah, this is what we had, y'all. This were our wedding expenses. This was the wedding gifts, going to the honeymoon and saving, going to a house. And again, we have invited 160, 121 RSVP'd, 101 showed up. 2 of them said they weren't coming. We got 39 gifts from people. And you're like, oh, y'all are counting. Here's the thing. We just did it for the video. I didn't even think about it. But I didn't want to like share names or share anything specific. So I just like to share numbers with y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Okay? Bye.